Hi guys, in our previous video we have learned about how we can create the scope functions, how you can use them, let, apply, run with, and also if you haven't watched it, go back and check that video and you will and learn about it. So today we are going to learn about generics in Kotlin, why we need them, how we can create them, generics, and why we find the need to use them. Generics example, let's create this file and we will have a function main. And yeah, so for this, for example, let's create a class that is gonna that can be named as like an integer class, which just take the input, any input, and we can say input class. That what it does is just it take a data that that is an int. It takes as integer as an input, and we have two functions here. A function that set value, that sets the value, and it also has the value, and the we can say value, which is an integer. And what it does is we have the data is equals to value, right? And we have another function that is get value, right? And that also what it does is it just returns us the data, right? And yeah, so what it says, okay, we need to give this the return type as int. Okay, so we have a input class, let's name it as input int, input integer. And same way, we if we, this is for integer, this is a class which I need to like set the values of an integer. So same way, what if I need to do the same for a string class? So what if I want to set a string? So we have to create another class, input string, and what and in its constructor it takes the type as string, and let's update it to string, and let's to string. So same way, what if I we want to create a class that takes input as long, if it also has a boolean or something else or double, then we need to create the copy of this class multiple times. But with the help of generics we can do it simply. With the help of generic, we can do is we can create a one class and we can use it anywhere and for any type of input. So let's see how we can create that with input with generics. So that for we need to create a class. Let's take a class and input, we can name it as input, simple input. And for this we have to give it this the brackets, and we need to pass the t, right? And in the constructor as well, where we have data, we have to take the type as t. This is how you define generics. T is the type, and function set value. In this function where we were having the value, its type is also t, because we don't know till now what is the type of the t, like what type of data we are going to pass with, for which we are going to set. So here data will be equals to the value, and function get value, we can say like this, and its return type will be t. And in this return, what we are going to return the data. So in this class guys, this is the example, basic example of generic. So in this what we have done is we have created a class. So in for this we have to pass a type, like to declare the generic class you have to set it like this is unknown input type, and like we can accept any values, and we can set these and we can work on this. So Let's see the example of normal when we have declared as an input integer. Well, integer input integer, the class which we have defined previously, input integer, and in this pass as 4. And now let's try to print input dot get value, right? And let's run this and see what it does. So you have seen, like, now we can set the value in this input integer. Same way you can pass the value for input string, and you can, yeah, we have get the 4 because we have set the value 4. Same way you can do for input string. So now let's see how we can input for the input class, the which we have declared the generic. So for this, what we have to do is, when we are going to define the input, then we need to pass on this, that is what kind of class we want. We need to say like string. Now in this we can define the value hello, and now if you want, print input dot get value, you can say. So you will see the input curly braces string, it will give us the class will become the which is going to accept the string as input. If you pass this to as a int, it will make it like an input class that accept the value as integer. If you make it as double, it will do the same. So same way, like when we define where a list, then when we say a list of, so this asks us how what kind of list you want, type expected. So when we say we want a list of string type, that's how it works in the background. It declares the type. And if we open this list of, and you will see it is an basically a generic function which takes the list of whatever type we pass. So this is how, guys, you can define generics in Kotlin. And now see another example, a small example, that is like we have another variable type, that is when we define a function. Let's have a function abc, and in this we have defined till now where and val. We can also define as vararg, and that is, for example, a that is an int. So what it says is vararg, that is a variable number of argument you can pass. So to see this, you can simply check the values, like, because when we are passing an integer, or we can pass only one integer, two integer, when we have it var or val. But when we have var arg, that is variable number of argument. So what we can do is, when we try to see, when we call this abc function, you can pass any number of arguments, it will accept all of them, like this. So that's how that's why we use vararg, that is used to pass the number of arguments, that is variable number of arguments you can pass, and it will accept. So this is all about generics and variable arguments in Kotlin, guys. Thanks for watching. Do comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Hope you have learned something new today.